Hey there, Peter Vekselman, partner-driven real estate investing. 22 years in the real estate investing business, 3,600 deals completed. But the reality is, if you have ever wanted to be in the real estate investing business, if you're watching this today and you're like, I want to be in the real estate investing business, I want to share a brutal stat that probably no one shared with you, and for obvious reasons. But the brutal stat is this: less than 3 to 5% of people ever become successful as real estate investors. Now think about this. You know, you hear this all the time. You hear like, all the money is made in real estate. All the millionaires made all their money in real estate. Well, here's the reality is, when you kind of look across the board of all the people that participate or want to get into the real estate investing business, very few, like I said, about 3 to 5% max ever make any money. But the people that do make money make a whole heck of a lot of money. So the question is, how do you get past that 3 to 5%, and how do you increase your chances? And I'm going to share with you this incredible solution that Partner Driven offers. But before I get into that, let's kind of dissect this. Like, think about this: 3 to 5% success rate. Like, what other industry would you participate in that has such an abysmal success rate, right? Like, let's say you needed to go to a hospital. Would you go to a hospital that's got a 3 to 5% survival rate, right? Would you go to a grocery store where only 3 to 5% of people that eat that food survive? Would you go to a car mechanic shop where their failure rate is 97%? There's really no other industry that has this type of an abysmal success rate. I mean, there's a bigger chance astronauts going on spaceships for the first time, flying into orbit, right, floating around there for days, there's a bigger chance that they're going to be more successful, right, than real estate investors. And if you think about it, on the other side, like, who talks about this? Like, have you ever been to a seminar, or have you ever heard a guru, or have you ever heard any kind of training where the individual talking about it says, well, I'm in an industry that has such an abysmal success rate? No. The reality is, to a degree, and to actually a very large degree, we have come to accept that. And unfortunately, a lot of times when you do hear the guru worlds, the educators of this business, you know what they do? They put the blame right square back on the individual, right? And the point is, you know, you hear people say, well, we do our part. We teach them everything we know. We give them all the facts. And, you know, the reality is, that is a true statement. There's some incredibly successful, incredibly sharp, incredibly smart educators / gurus out there who absolutely do deliver top-of-the-line information and top-of-the-line knowledge out there. So why is it, when you're getting taught by people who truly are doing it, who truly are successful, why is it that the people that are getting taught have such an abysmal success rate? Well, the problem is not that. The reason that real estate investing industry has such an abysmal success rate is a function of how it is set up. So in reality, real estate is a very dislocated, very disjointed industry, right? It doesn't flow together. None of the pieces fit in together. Nothing really comes together, right? It's not an assembly line type of an operation. So here's what happens. Here's what happens to a typical real estate investor like yourself who wants to get out there and become a successful real estate investor. Number one, you're going to go out there and you're going to go get your training somewhere else, right? Because you know you need knowledge, right? That's an undeniable, that is 100% across the board a reality part of real estate investing, that you absolutely need to know what you're doing, right? So you're going to get your knowledge. Now think about it. Who are you going to get your knowledge from? You're going to get your knowledge from whichever organization screams and advertises the most, right? The guru that has the most limelight around them, right? So that's where you're going to get your training, and you could actually get some incredibly super duper training out there. Then you take that training and you go step number two. Step number two, you realize, well, now that I know how to do this business, at least from a conceptual point of view, you're going to get out there and you're going to say to yourself, well, now I got to find some deals, right? So what does that mean specifically? That means marketing, right? I got to start generating leads. Well, what does a typical real estate investor do when they need to start generating leads, right? They go to Google search engine or some kind of a search engine and just put lead gen or marketing real estate. And what happens? You have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of choices out there. There's no shortage of where you can get lead gen and opportunities from, right? How do you make your decision who to go with out of these thousands, right? Because all thousands cannot possibly be the right marketing source. So how an average investor makes a decision who to go with is A, what they can afford, what is in their budget, and B, who comes up higher in the search engines. Okay, so now you're kind of at that lead gen side, and now that you're starting to generate some leads, you don't know if they're good or bad, you start realizing something else. Well, now that I'm starting to generate leads and opportunities, what I do need, right? What I do need is I need to have some kind of, I got to have some knowledge. How do I even talk to these people, right? You could be an engineer, you could be an accountant, you could be a car mechanic, you could be a salesperson. Most people that get in this business are not professional negotiators, right? We don't talk to cold calls, basically people that we've never talked to before. So now you're Googling, okay, how do I talk to sellers? And you're like, okay, here's some scripts, here's what I think I better say, and how do you pick out those scripts? Again, whoever comes up, usually at the top of the searches that you do. So now you're like, okay, I think this is what I got to do. Then you realize as you're talking to these people, it's not just a matter of talking to these people, it's a matter of knowing how to negotiate deals, right? Because just because somebody says, I want $100,000 for my property doesn't mean you want to pay him $100,000. Bottom line is you have to become a very proficient negotiator. So now you're back to the same place. You're asking, you're Googling, you're trying to figure out how do you become a negotiator. Think about in your life, when have you negotiated? If you're not a professional negotiator doing that for your day-to-day earnings, you probably don't even know how to negotiate. So now you've piecemealed together scripts here, training here, lead gen here, negotiations here. Now all of a sudden you're at the point where you're trying to generate some stuff and you're trying to figure out, well, how do I even know if I'm generating good stuff? I need access to data information. You get to that point, maybe you found the deal even, and now you're realizing, oh, I didn't even think about this. But now that I found the deal, I got to be able to close this deal, right? You don't even think about, you got to find the right closing attorneys. You got to have the right contract and paperwork. Having the right contract and paperwork could literally bring the whole deal down. You got to figure out, you got to know how to respond to title issues. You got to know how to coordinate buyers, sellers. All of those back office things that you have to be done, you don't even think about it. Okay, now you start piecemealing about 20 different back office things together. You start making calls, you start asking for references, and now all of a sudden you've kind of assembled that, and now you get to the next part of this business, which is a huge undertaking for everyone, and not too many people think about it. They conceptually realize they got to do it, but now, let's say you found something. What do you got to do? You got to get money, right? You got to get money. So you realize, because the gurus taught you, it's called hard money, private money. So now you're Googling local hard money people. You call the first guy that seems to be like a legit guy, and you're like, you start working with him, but you don't realize, because you're fairly new in this business, that the way he sets up the terms and the way he draws up the paperwork, chances are, 90% chance are, he's actually going to make more money on that deal than you do. And now you come to the ultimate pitfall of this business. You got to fix this property. By the way, 22 years ago when I got started, I pretty much became homeless in this business. Lost everything I had no more money, no more credibility, no more anything going for me. Pretty much made myself homeless. And 90% of the reason why I did make myself homeless was because of this part here, the contractors. This is just an endless money pit in this business. And think about this. When was the last time you did a $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 rehab, or supervised one, or paid out money on one, or knew how to hire the right contractor and not be played for the newbie? And so you're trying to piecemeal that together, and guess what? You're not done yet, because even if you get through that part and lose a bunch of money on the rehab and go over budget and go over timelines, which happens, by the way, 99% of the time, especially at the newbie investor side, you get to the final part where you got to sell this thing. How do you know who to hire? Do you do a for sale by owner? Do you hire a realtor? If you hire a realtor, do you hire this realtor or that realtor? Do you know there's different types of realtors? Do you know you have to approach them differently? And now you sell that property, and chances are you're just happy to be alive. Your biggest celebration after doing that first deal is that, oh my gosh, how quickly did it get out of this business? And that is why real estate investing has such an abysmal success rate. Everything is piecemeal together. It's no different than me telling you right now, you know what, let's go build a Rolls Royce. But how we're going to do it is we're going to go to the city you live in. We're going to go to the 5 or 10 different junk yards. We're going to grab different parts and materials, and we're going to bring them together. We're going to put this incredible Rolls Royce together. What are the chances of that happening? Like literally zero. And we won't even try doing it because we know it doesn't work. But that is exactly how people try to put real estate and business together. And this is why the real estate industry has such an abysmal success rate. But there is a solution, and that is what we do here at Partner Driven. At Partner Driven, we have literally cracked the code of real estate investing success. Go from abysmal single-digit success rate to upper double-digit success rate. And the reason we do that is we have eliminated the problem that I have been sharing with you. We have literally brought everything under one roof. So here at Partner Driven, we actually partner with you and we do deals. But in order for us to do deals correctly, because remember, we're partnering with you, so we got to make sure it's done correctly, we bring everything under one roof. So here, Partner Driven, we are going to coach you and train you under our roof and under our system, right? Our coaching and training is literally over the top. It's on demand. It's literally every day from 9 to 5 p.m. You have access to all of our private coaches, which means you have access to information on demand. We do on a daily basis. We have group training, sometimes multiple times a day. So by being with us here at Partner Driven, we're going to literally overtrain you. And you, as a result, from a knowledge perspective, that very first step, will become an extremely savvy real estate investor. Number two, we talked about lead gen. Well, guess what? We get involved in the lead gen because not only, see, here's the problem with all those pieces I brought up to you. Remember, because every single one of those pieces and parts of real estate business has many parts to it, right? It's not just a matter of piecemealing together. It's like, which one of those parts do you piecemeal together? Like, for instance, on the lead gen and marketing, do you know there's some things we used to do just 6 months ago on the marketing side that no longer work? How do you know what works? Well, we do know what works because we're doing thousands and thousands and thousands of deals in our real estate careers here. So we then know exactly what kind of marketing works in today's marketplace, so we handle the lead gen for you. The next thing you need to do is you need to know, how do you talk to these sellers and how do you negotiate deals and how do you contract them and what do you say to sellers? And we actually teach you all of that under one roof. I've already mentioned you need technology, right? Because you've got to be able to make decisions. And again, if you're trying to figure out what technology to use, the key is to find out how does that technology come together and where does it pull all its data information from. We actually provide you with the latest and the greatest technology. I've already shared with you need a back office, right? It is absolutely critical to have a back office to do contracts, fill out paperwork, schedule inspections, find the right closing agents, coordinate buyers, sellers. Our team literally becomes your team, and we handle all of that for you also. I mentioned that you need money. Well, guess what? How do you know that you could trust us with this whole thing, that we are doing exactly what needs to be done? One very simple thing, I'm going to back you 100%. That's right. So if you and I end up partnering, you put zero money into anything financially. I provide all the capital to buy them, fix them, carry them, any kind of overruns, that's all on me. That's right, as a partner, you don't even bring $1 to the table. Our construction outfit, because this is a very important piece. Again, remember, we already discussed, this is where the money pit is on the construction side. So our construction team will literally get into the city where you are, help you with the construction. Our team of realtors across the United States will put this property in a market so we can maximize on the kind of an amount of deals we're going to, amount of profit that we could make. And then when we sell it, we split the profits down the middle. You keep 50% and we keep 50%. And that right there is the partner-driven model. We have cracked the code of why so few people become successful in this business. We have taken away this whole dislocated, unorganized industry. We brought it all together. We brought it under one roof. Again, how do you know that our roof is the right roof? One very simple thing. As far as I know, I'm the only guru out there that'll actually put his money where his mouth is. So how you could feel comfortable that we know exactly what we're doing and exactly how to put this all together and everything we're implementing is right the way it's supposed to be, is that I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to back you financially. We've done this thousands of times. We have incredible success story. We have partners buying planes. We have partners retiring from their jobs. We have partners that literally came from nothing, giving blood when they started with us, have done over 15 deals. We have partners at the ultimate crossroads of life that we have utilized real estate investing as a way to get them out, make them a bunch of money, and have an incredible lifestyle to enjoy it. We here at Partner Driven have one very simple mission. We want to help as many people across the United States do as many deals as they want to do using our team, our infrastructure, our leads, and most importantly, our money, and back the whole thing, and then let them keep half and myself keep half. If this sounds like something you want to be a part of, the next step is click the link below, connect with the team members. We'll see if we're a good fit for each other, and if we are, before you know it, literally just like that, we could be doing deals and putting deals together right in your own backyard using our infrastructure and our experience, and most importantly, our money, and split the profits on the back end. Click the link below. Let's connect. Look forward to working with you.